Hello guys, welcome back for a new review. Today we're going to take a look at the Mondo Collectibles Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Leonardo soft vinyl figure. So I just got this one in today. This is number 42 of 2,500. That's a pretty low number, not that it really means anything. But let's crack it open and take a look. Okay, so here is Leonardo out of the shipper box. And it is a bit of a wow factor, the size of the figure. These are pretty much 1/6 scale reimaginings of the original Playmates Ninja Turtles, which I did have as a kid. So they're kind of just like beefed up and a little fancier, but articulation is going to be pretty much the same. But that paint job in the package is incredible. This did come from Mondo, so you get the extra card back. So if you do rip this off card back, you will have another one. This is a really cool vintage style depiction. All the characters. This is just something fun to just look through. Super cool. Dig that. Taking a closer look at him in packaging, I mean, that paint job on him is amazing. But we're definitely going to have to crack him open and take a closer look. Alright, so there is Leo out of the package. Just a kind of like an updated version of the Playmates, or definitely a updated version of the Playmates original figure. It's Leo's original color, but the paint job is just incredible. I love the turtle shell where it gets dark around the edges, the shading, really nice looking. If you take a closer look at his head sculpt, you notice they added a scar to his eye, so he's been in combat. The teeth and even the gums showing through a little bit, so really cool on that. It's the same old tied bandana on the back. Shell's got the exact same look with the scuff and scratch marks, battle scars. On the bottom of the feet, you got the Mondo and Viacom, the traditional L. So for articulation on this guy, again, it's just a redo of the original Playmates. So the head would go left and right. Arms go up and down, very tight. Wrists are on a swivel. And the legs can pose around a little bit. You don't seem to get a whole lot out of that. They call these soft vinyls, but you know, it's basically just a big version of the original Playmates figure. It's just a big, it's not soft, it's just it might be made out of vinyl, but it just feels just like plastic toy. And that's really what it is. They can call it a soft vinyl, but it's just a big action figure. Again, this kind of seems to be a 1/6 scale, so I'll bring in a 12-inch G.I. Joe for comparison, just to give you a idea on the size of them. So I know the turtles were about 4, maybe 4.5 feet tall, so that does seem to scale as 1/6. They did make Mondo 1/6 scale turtles many years ago. I did buy 2 of them, and I do have the reviews on my channel back when they were released. But they don't seem as big. So those Mondo turtles that they originally came out would seem to be bigger. This seems to be a little bit more short and squat. Definitely works as 6 scale, but it's a very toy style, toy grade thing. So not necessarily something you'd mix into your collection, but something I definitely wanted for mine. Really cool looking figure. Also, accessories. Of course, it's Leonardo. You're going to get his katanas. And they are both identical. I did look at them. The scratches and scuff marks on the blades are in the same spot. And they are very large. I think perhaps too large. These should have been scaled back a bit. I know a lot of people who've been getting these have struggled to get them in the hands, and I'm not looking to scratch up the paint, so I'm not going to try and force it, but I think these blades should have definitely been scaled down a notch or two because they're almost the same height as Leo himself. Not quite. You know, Leo's about 8 inches. These are about 7. So I think they are too big. So that is a nitpick. But they do look beautiful. Figure is nice. Okay, so there he is with the swords on. Looks pretty cool. So some things that I would have changed with this. I think it's great. I think it's great design. It's a great paint job for the most part. There's not perfection achieved here. So like if you take a look, bring the light in. He's got sloppy green paint on the bottom of his knee pad there. And then looking at the paint on the knee, you can see paint spatter, like the bumps. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera. Very minor. I mean, it's nitpicky, but it's worth pointing out. You see the yellow dot there by his crotch. That was mispainted as well. But what I would have changed on this, aside from the sword size, a softer material used for the hands so that they could easily grip the swords. I don't want to risk, you know, scuffing off the paint on a $90 figure. Yeah, these are $90. They're a little overpriced in my opinion. But I did want to get one to see how I felt about it. I do love it. I do want all of them, but I don't know if I'm going to go in for the whole team. They are great looking figures. Another thing I would have changed, aside from the swords being too big, is actually have the belt be removable. Not that most people would take it off, and myself included, but it would be a nice nod to the original where you just pop that off and pull off the harness if you wanted to. That would have been a nice nod. Also, the articulation isn't a perfect match to the originals. So the arms are, by the way, this left hand of his is super tight. I have not been able to break that free. This one moves fine. This one is rock hard, so maybe I'll heat that up. But the original Turtle's legs were like on a ball joint where you could move it out. This is actually a hinge, if you look. It's just a hinge that goes back and forth. There is no ability to splay the legs out like the original. So that would have been better if that was a ball joint. We can get a little bit more articulation out of them. Because as it is, it's just forward and back. And it's just very little bit. But overall, really cool looking figure. Mondo Soft Vinyl Leonardo. Do recommend it. If you're a big fan and you had the originals, you want something cool for the shelf. They are good, but they are not, in my opinion, worth $90. These should be maybe $59 at most. But that's inflation for you. That's it. So that's a look at the Mondo Leonardo. Thanks for watching, and until next time.